New Americans officially become citizens during a naturalization ceremony in Glacier. One Kalispell couple is doing their part to contribute to wildfire relief in an unconventional way. And uncertainty as GOP leadership scrambles to bring another repeal and replace bill to the floor before a crucial deadline.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KAJ, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Don Fisher. Coming off a devastating wildfire season, Congressman Greg Gianforte was in Columbia Falls today, making a push for forest management. Today, Gianforte visited Stoltz Land and Lumber Company in Columbia Falls. Gianforte praised the lumber company for creating jobs, livelihood in the community, and healthier forests for more than 100 years. His visit is part of the Forest Jobs Tour that began last week in Helena to, quote, shine a light on the devastation that occurred this year across the state due to destructive wildfires. He says it's important to manage forests, which is why he sponsored the Resilient Federal Forest Act. The bill allows for the reduction of fuels in the forest, which Gianforte says will create healthier forests, more wildlife, sporting opportunities, jobs in the timber industry, and reduction in the intensity and frequency of these wildfires.
I'm very pleased to be sponsoring this legislation with Bruce Westerman from Arkansas. He's a forester, he understands these issues, and through talking about the disaster we had this past summer, we're raising awareness. Now is the time to act on forest management.
So far in his tour, Gianforte has made stops in Bozeman, Missoula, Knowlton, and Miles City. And on Sunday, the Flathead 4-H Foundation is teaming up with a local business to raise money for fires that have ravaged Montana this summer. On Sunday, the Fritz Corn Maze will be hosting Hillbilly Fun Day with all sorts of hillbilly-themed activities for families to enjoy. 4-H is a foundation that provides kids of Flathead County with the funds, resources, and educational experiences in hopes of developing the next great generation of Montanans. Ben Fresno says they chose the Fritz Corn Maze because it is a place they can fulfill their mission of helping youth while raising money for a great cause.
The Fritz family has been a part of 4-H for many generations, so we're happy to be out here working with them, a place that attracts families of all sizes, ages, and it's just a great place to bring people together.
And the Corn Maze will be open from 11 to 6 p.m. on Sunday. And KAJ is proud to present an hour-long Montana Relief special this Saturday at 6 p.m. We'll take a look at the fire headlines from across the state, and Governor Steve Bullock will tell us what he thinks we need to do to move forward after this devastating fire season. And we'll tell you how you can help your communities impacted by these devastating fires. And one way you can help is to contribute to our Montana Wildlife Relief Fund, which now sits at over $117,000 and counting. With a $50,000 match from the MTN stations and the Arthur Blank Foundation, that puts a total at $217,000. If you haven't donated already, it's not too late. Just go to KAJ18.com for more information. And it's been a gloomy week for the region, but we may be in store for some nicer weather this weekend. And for more on that, we'll take it over to meteorologist Aaron Yost for a look at our first forecast. Aaron?
Yeah, and I know a lot of us still have some plans we have across western Montana to tackle before the seasons really start to change, but they did literally today. We welcomed in fall at 2:02 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, and it sure felt like it. We do continue to see a system across the state of Montana, although most of it missing out on the northwest quarter of the state. We did get in on those cooler temperatures for sure, though. Today, our high only 54 Kalispell. That's 13 degrees below average. Winter weather advisories continue for just a bit longer in the higher terrain of southwest Montana. I'll let you know what we can expect this weekend coming up in your full forecast.
All right, thank you, Aaron. The American flag was flying high today at Glacier National Park, and as U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services hosted a very special naturalization ceremony at the Apgar Amphitheater. MTN's Nicole Miller reports.
10 new U.S. citizens from across the world took the oath of allegiance and became naturalized citizens Friday at a ceremony in Glacier National Park.
I think this is a very unique place for you to become citizens.
It's really an honor to be part of the process, and for that process to take place here instead of in a courtroom. It is a very solemn and formal process.
You are now citizens of the United States of America. And for these past 230 years, the United States of America has served as a beacon of freedom and hope for the rest of the world. I'm confident that with the addition of the energy, industriousness, and hope of new citizens like you, that the United States of America will continue to serve as that beacon of freedom and hope for generations to come.
Among those welcomed was Aline Hibbs from Sweden.
I thought it was the most beautiful thing ever. I had no clue, I'd never been to one, and I thought it was absolutely stunning and so good.
Who will forever cherish the day.
And I feel really welcome.
High school students from Big Fork and Whitefish studying government got to leave class to watch the ceremony. Nadia Narji says it's a day she too will never forget.
I know that a lot of Americans my age take their citizenship for granted, or they just don't really know the importance of it. And coming here today and seeing people who've worked for it is really cool, and it's a great experience.
To the summit of the mountain.
Reporting in Glacier National Park, Nicole Miller, MTN News.
And this is only the second naturalization ceremony the park has hosted. Montanans who were told several days ago that their Verizon service would be terminated in October can breathe a little easier as the company has partially rescinded that decision. Verizon said earlier this month that it was cutting service to customers whose primary place of using their phone was outside the company's service area. However, Montana Senator John Tester said in a press release on Friday that he received assurances from Verizon that no Montanans will be involuntarily removed from their contract. Verizon now says that it is extending the deadline to switch providers to December 1st and letting some customers stay on the network, although they must switch to a new service plan. A woman charged with 2 counts of murder for the deaths of 2 people in the Frenchtown area in 2013 says she's not guilty. 51-year-old Caressa Hardy pled not guilty to 2 counts of deliberate homicide in Missoula District Court. Hardy is accused of killing Thomas Korjak and Robert Orsko in 2013, but the deaths were not reported to law enforcement until 2016, leading to a lengthy investigation. Those investigators were not able to find the bodies, but are confident the forensic evidence that they've obtained is sufficient. Her next court appearance is scheduled for mid-November.
Salute to Service is brought to you by Flathead Electric Cooperative, your not-for-profit member-owned co-op.
In this week's Salute to Service, MTN's Jack Ginsburg honors the 3 separate police departments that worked with the FBI, NSA, and other international agencies to bring safety to the Flathead Valley after a series of cyber threats last week.
Rarely do we come together in a major case like this that imminently affects all of us, or at least there are threats to all of our schools in both the county and the 3 incorporated cities.
Last week, a wave of cyber threats to multiple schools across the Flathead Valley prompted Whitefish, Kalispell, and Columbia Falls police departments to work with the Flathead County Sheriff's Office to find out if there was any physical threat to students at these schools. Separate police departments do work together sometimes, but it is rare that they are forced to work this closely on a case.
We're very fortunate. We have a good working relationship. We know each other well. But it's instances like this when that working relationship gets put to a test.
Not only did the 3 cities' departments' relationship help in the case, but the relationship with the FBI as well.
We have a great working relationship with the FBI. They really stepped up to the plate in this case as well. So it's great, and the foundation we build for those relationships really do pay off in instances like this.
After the physical threat was determined to be non-existent, Flathead Valley Superintendent Jack Egensberger says that law enforcement did incredible work bringing normalcy back to the school year.
It was really a great opportunity for pulling everybody together. Law enforcement did a fantastic job, and I just can't thank them enough for all that they did.
In Kalispell, Jack Ginsburg, MTN News.
And the investigation is now being looked at as an extortion case, and law enforcement is still working to find the people sending these threats. And coming up after the break, Aaron Yost will have your sunny forecast for the weekend. And later, GOP leadership scrambles to bring another repeal and replace bill to replace the Affordable Care Act. Coming up.